Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new. In today's video, we're going to be talking about all of the money I spent in Q3 on makeup, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I have some regrets. So at the end of this video, we're gonna get more into that, but let's start out with just going through all of the products that I've purchased between July and September of this year. In July, I did pick up several different makeup products. My birthday's in July, so I do tend to pick up more makeup in that month, as well as like the Black Friday time of year. I would say those two times of the year are probably like the highest of my makeup consumption in purchasing, so that is to be expected. So my first purchase in July was from Ulta, and I picked up this Wet n Wild highlight. This is in the shade Blossom Glow. I had heard such good things about this, but honestly, I've barely used it. Like, I've probably used this less than 5 times since I got it. You can tell like it barely has any use on it. It's really pretty, but I prefer my Catrice highlight that's similar to this. So yeah, you might hear about this one at the end of the video. But also in that purchase, I did use my $10 like a birthday gift from Ulta, and I picked up this palette. So this didn't actually cost me anything because I did have that coupon code to use, but this is the Milani Gilded Mini palette in Whiskey Business. I've talked about this a lot on my channel. I've already hit pan in the lightest shade, but this is like a perfect matte eyeshadow palette to kind of go with any other palette in your collection, especially if you have a palette where you really like the shimmers, but you kind of want some more neutral toned mattes to kind of ground the palette down. That's what I use this for, but this one was free because it did work with my $10 birthday gift from Ulta. So the Wet n Wild product was $6.99, and then with this being free, this total purchase was $6.99. Okay, on July 8th from Walmart, I did pick up 2 different skin products. So they're foundations, but they're like skin tints. So I picked up the Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Skin Tint. This one has been a favorite of mine this year. I know you guys have probably heard me talk about this one a lot as well. I just got this, like I said, in July, and I've already used up this much, which is a lot for me because I have so many different foundations that I don't use the same one every day. This one's currently in my Shop My Stash rotation. I really like this one. They do come with like little dropper things. I ordered the pumps off of Amazon. Same thing for this one. So this is the L'Oreal True Match Skin Tint. I got both of these at the same time. So the Maybelline one was $13.98, and then the L'Oreal one was $14.97. I also do really like this one as well, but I, for some reason, find myself reaching for the Maybelline one a little bit more. I just like the way it sits on my dry skin a little bit better. But after tax, that total purchase was $31.56. If you want to see reviews on these, I have a review video where I feature both of these and compare them, so I'll link that down below for you guys. I think that was a helpful video, I hope, because these are 2 pretty similar products, so it was fun to put them kind of head to head in a review. So I hope that you guys do enjoy that video, but I'll link it for you for sure. So another Ulta purchase, this one was on July 16th. I purchased the L'Oreal True Match Foundation. I also have a review on that. Anything I have a review on, I'll link it for you. I returned that foundation. I'm still gonna count it in my spending because I did purchase it, but I later did end up returning it, so I guess I could have like taken that total off, but it's okay. I'm gonna leave it as is. The reason I decided to return it is because I felt like it was a terrible product, and I felt like there wasn't really much of a point donating it because I couldn't think of who it would work for. After I returned it, I actually saw a video of someone that reviewed like 30 plus foundations, and that was their #1. So afterwards, I kind of thought, well, maybe I should have donated that, but it was too late. I had already returned it. I just could not fathom someone liking that because of how horribly it sat on my skin. But that just goes to show that someone's favorite could be someone else's least favorite product. So, you know, that's just that. But I did decide to return it because I felt like it was a bad product. Also in that purchase, I picked up a couple of other things. So this was from Essence. This is the Hugs and Teddies Soft Lip Liner. I got mine in the shade 01 So Berry Soft. This is fine. I didn't need it though. I just kind of picked it up because it was new. It was super affordable because it's Essence, and I just thought maybe I wanted another lip liner. I don't know. This is one of those things I probably shouldn't have purchased. I tend to not purchase like impulse things, but that one was an impulse purchase. And so was the Essence Lash Like a Boss mascara. I tend to really like Essence mascaras, but that one was awful. I've already thrown it out. Like, it was so bad. It flaked on my eyes. It didn't stay on my eyes. It didn't look good when I first put it on at all. And I let it stay open for a while, and I kept trying it, and it was just awful every time that I wore it. So it wasn't for me. The L'Oreal True Match Foundation was $13.99. The Essence lip liner was $2.99. The mascara was $4.99. And then the last thing I picked up in that order that I do really like was this Revlon Illuminance Skin Caring Foundation, and this one was $17.99. So this one's a little bit of a higher price tag, especially for a drugstore foundation. It's cheaper if you pick it up at Walmart, but I had 10 times points on foundations when I purchased this, so I decided to go ahead and get it from Ulta. And I really like this foundation. I actually have it on today and I've really been enjoying it. I would say it's similar to the Maybelline Skin Tint, but it has more coverage. So I really do like that one, and it's more glowy by a little bit. The Maybelline one's pretty glowy though. So after tax, the total of that purchase was $42.16. And then the last purchase that I made in July was on July 29th, and I picked up 2 products from ColourPop. And actually my friend ordered them, so I just kind of rounded up on the products and then paid her that amount of money. So I got the Jelly Much Field of Fairies shade of their eyeshadow, and that was $9. I really like this. Again, you've probably heard me talk about both of these products, and I also had a trying them on kind of review on them. So that's what this shade looks like though. It's got a really pretty flip in it, but it's like a nice kind of light gold with a lot of really pretty flecks of shimmer in it. It's got like a little bit of everything. Honestly, it's really pretty. You can also kind of use it as a highlight if your skin tone's similar to mine. And then the other thing I picked up was $8. This is the Shadow Sticks in Cold Girl. This is really fun for the inner corners, and I really like both of these. So neither one of these will be in my regret section of the video, but the total for those was $17. So that was everything that I purchased in July. They were all mostly affordable, but they add up. Okay, so for everything in July, the total was $90.72. So pretty high, even though all those things seem to be affordable. As you add them up, they add up, you know? Okay, so moving to August, I did actually make several purchases in August as well. So the first thing that I picked up was an order from Lottie London. And I will say I had more in my cart from Lottie London when I went to purchase these. So I'm glad that I pared it down some to the 4 of these products. So first up, I got for $7.98 the Lottie London Super Fake Mascara. This is a really, really good mascara. I've enjoyed it a lot. This is not for the faint of heart. This is a very intense looking mascara in my opinion, but I really like that look. So this has been a go-to mascara for me. I've got a few open, but I kind of cycle through them equally, and I like this one just as much as the others. Then for $6.98, I picked up this Cheeky Kiss Lip and Cheek Duo, which all of the text has worn off pretty much. Like you can still see the main name of it, but that's looking pretty rough. I think this one was making my lips dry out like tremendously. So I was using this a lot because I actually did really enjoy it as a lip product. It's not really like my go-to for a blush just because of the component it's in, but I really liked it as a lip product, and it felt very moisturizing, and I loved the way it looked. I loved the shade, I loved the formula, but I was wearing this consistently, and then I noticed my lips were like excruciatingly dry to the point where they were hurting, but they weren't like cracked. It almost felt more of like a chemical burn, as in like the formula was burning my lips versus my lips just being dry from the cold, which I'm sure is bound to happen, you know, towards the end of this year, beginning of next year. It always happens in the winter. But I was using this and I felt like my lips were just like awfully dry. I had it between this and one other product, but it seems to have been this because I've been able to use the lip oil from REM and that's not happening yet. So I think it's this, which is such a bummer because I honestly really liked this one. So I don't know that I could suggest it because I don't know like what kind of reaction it would have on anyone else, but for me, I can't really use this anymore. I'm probably gonna have to get rid of it, because I'll be tempted to use it again because I did really like it, but it didn't do very well for my lips. It's a bummer because I really liked that one. I had mine in the shade Swipe Right. I don't know if I said that, but yeah, that one was such a bummer. And then for $7.95, I picked up this pH changing blush from Lottie London, of course, and I felt like when I first tried it, it was cool because I liked the tone of it, but then I've only reached for this like 2 times since then. So in total, I've used this like 3 times, maybe 4 times, but I don't want a product that I just used 4 times. So I don't know. This one, again, was probably one that I shouldn't have bought, so you're gonna see me talk about it later. But yeah, this one is a little bit more of like for the hype and for the just, wow, what is that type of response to a new product. So not the biggest fan of that one. But one that really surprised me for $8.95 was this under eye brightener. I really, really like this. I have quite the dip in it now. Can you guys tell like how much I've actually used of it? I don't know if you can. You use such a little bit every time you use it, but the dip in the product is actually pretty substantial. I used this today and I'm a really big fan of this under eye brightener. At first I wasn't sure how I would feel about it, but I have been reaching for this multiple times a week. For a while there, I was using it every single day. And then I started waking up too late, so I was doing my makeup really quickly. So I was skipping this step, but I really like it. I feel like it really does brighten up my under eyes, but you definitely have to put a concealer on over it because it's tacky, it's very dewy. So when I use this and then I put my NARS potted concealer over it, I find that that's like the perfect combination because that's a matte concealer going over like a very dewy under eye brightener, and I find that combo to be really, really good for my under eyes. So I really like that one. So the total for that one was $31.86. So not bad for 4 products, but I have other purchases from August. So on August 5th from Sephora, I picked up the Natasha Denona Mini Starlet palette, and let me tell you, I did not regret, and I don't regret purchasing this one. I want to mention it now because it's not going to be later in the video, but had I known, and I'm sure this is like the case for a lot of people, and this is a spoiler for our next product I'm going to talk about, but had I known she was going to release the I Need a Nude palette, I would not have picked up the Starlet palette. I had no idea that the I Need a Nude palette was coming out, so when she released this, I thought, oh, I really like that. I'd really like to review it in a video, but I also just genuinely think I would like that. And I do. It's a very pretty palette. But this was, after tax, $28.49 from Sephora. So, you know, not too terribly expensive, but when you're thinking about like this tiny little eyeshadow palette, it is pricey. But it was nice. It's a nice little travel palette, and I do enjoy having it in my collection. But my next purchase was this one. So the I Need a Nude palette was $69 from Natasha Denona's website. Now I rearranged all of my Natasha Denona shadows. I'm sure you've heard me talk about this. I'll link that video below for you. But this is like the original packaging. And then some of the shades are in here and some of them are not. But this isn't what the inside really looks like, okay? But if you want to see me review this palette, I'll link that. I'll also link where I made my custom one. But I had an affiliate coupon code to use. That was, I think, like Morgan Turner's. So it saved me at $10.35. So the total of this palette was $58.65 after the coupon code and everything. So, you know, good. $58 and compared to $69 is pretty good for the palette. But yeah, I do like that palette a lot, and I wouldn't have gotten the mini one had I known that one was coming out. But like I said, I'm sure they did that on purpose, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels that way. Okay, on August 24th, which I don't know if you guys care about the dates, but on August 24th, I picked up this Purito BB cream, which I should have waited on this one, but it was on sale. So sometimes it goes on sale and it's under $10. Other times it's like $11 or $12. So I got it on sale for $9.80, and I was almost done with my old one, which by now I have used up. So I'll go ahead and add this into my collection today since I'm talking about it. But I did pick this up in August, and with it being 2 months later, almost to the day, I could have waited on this one and picked it up like now because Amazon does have 2-day shipping. So I didn't really need to pick it up in August, but I did just because I was purchasing something from there, I think, and then I saw that this one was on sale, so I went ahead and picked it up. But yeah, probably could have waited, but this is a favorite of mine, so I'm not mad about that to have that in my collection. The last 2 things I picked up in August were from the 27th, and they were 2 lipsticks from MAC. These are the only 2 things I picked up in the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale, so they were both half off, but they were different prices because they're different formulas. So I picked up the shade called Hug Me. This one's more of like a satin kind of shine formula. I love this one. I almost didn't pick this one up. I was only going to pick up 1, but then I decided to pick up 2 because they were different formulas and they were different shades. So the other one I picked up was Blankety. I feel like this one is so popular and very, very well known, but this one is a little bit drier on the lips. It's also lighter on the lips than I expected, but I really like both of them. I love this one specifically in Hug Me. So this one in Hug Me was $13, and then Blankety was $11.50. So after tax, the total of that one was $26.71. Pretty good, I think, for 2 MAC lipsticks. And I'm excited to have those because I've always wanted a MAC lipstick and I've never had one before. So I was pretty pumped about the 2 of those. But that leads us to the August spending total, because I had 5 separate purchases in August. So the total was $145.71. So a little steep there. All right, September's gonna be a quick one for us because I only made one purchase, and it was this kit from KJH brand. This is their highlight kit. I got mine in the shade Light Gold. So it comes with the Light Gold product, which is in a pot like this. And then it comes with the highlight serum, which is just like a clear gloss. And then it also comes with a brush. This was a very highly anticipated release for me this year. I knew I was gonna pick it up, but you're gonna see this a little bit later in the video because I'm so about it. I don't know. And it's super expensive. So that kit is $75. So that was my spending in September. That's all I bought makeup wise. I didn't buy anything else, just the $75 highlight kit from KJH brand. So that's the total for September, which leads us to quarter 3 total. If you guys remember quarter 1 and quarter 2, I spent the exact same amount of money, which was very weird, like to the dollar. And before my purchase, the KJH brand one, the last 2 months together would have been that total. So I did exceed that amount. And the total for quarter 3 of my spending was $311.43. So my highest quarter so far, but I had 2 months where I bought like a lot of more affordable things that added up, and then the $75 highlight kit definitely added up. So that leads us to how much have I spent so far in 2023 on makeup. And this number, of course, is getting higher than what it's been the last couple of videos I filmed like this. So the total I've spent so far this year on makeup is $784.73. So I've mentioned I would like to stick around like $1,000 to $1,200 a year on makeup. I don't have like a set budget. I just try to kind of think about it like, okay, if I bought a lot of makeup last month, I probably should slow down this month. And it's not really like based on spending. It's mostly based on how many products I have. I get overwhelmed when I have too many. I'm kind of feeling overwhelmed with it right now. And I just don't like for my makeup collection to feel like it's overwhelming, because it's supposed to be a sense of joy for me. And sometimes when it's cluttered, it feels like overwhelming, and I don't like that feeling. So that's kind of why I've started to slow down a little bit. I've only purchased a little bit of products, and it's almost the end of October. So I purchased another release that I would have purchased regardless. You guys have seen me review that, and then I purchased like a couple small products in the beginning of the month that were really replacement products. So haven't done too bad in October, but like I mentioned, the Black Friday time is usually when I purchase a little bit more makeup again. So we'll see how that goes, but I don't have the itch right now. I'm sure I will before the end of the year. So then I'm gonna talk about all the products that I purchased this past quarter that I kind of regret purchasing. And they're ones that some of them are like, I shouldn't have bought them from the beginning. Other ones, I'm just disappointed as to how I like them now that I have purchased them. So let's go ahead and talk about those. First up would be the L'Oreal foundation, the True Match one that I mentioned I returned. So that was $13.99. And I did decide to include that in my budget because I did purchase it. I probably should have just taken the amount out, but that's fine. I'm going to talk about it now. And then another product that I kind of regret purchasing was this Wet n Wild highlight, because I didn't need it and I like my other ones better than this one. So I don't know. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it, but I like my Catrice highlight better than this one, and they're pretty similar. So that was $6.99 that I kind of wish I hadn't spent. And then the Essence products. So the lip liner, I didn't need this and I don't really use it a lot. It's not a favorite formula or shade or anything like that. So this, along with the mascara, I kind of regret a little bit. This was just $2.99, so it's like one of those things, like $2.99, that's fine. And then the mascara being $5 or $4.99, it's a bummer, but you know, those things happen. You can't like everything that you try. So Lottie London, I kind of do regret purchasing both of these. This one because it was just more gimmicky, which is what I was afraid of, and I haven't used it very much, so I kind of do regret purchasing this one. This one I do and I don't, because I really do like this, but it doesn't work for me formula wise. It was making my lips really irritated. So these two products I would have been better off without. I couldn't have known that from the beginning, maybe about this one, but this one's more of like a hindsight thing. I wish I hadn't bought that. Yeah, a little bit of a bummer. So those ones were around $7 and $8. And then the last thing that I regret honestly was this one, because it's so expensive and I honestly just don't love it as much as I thought that I would. I think it makes sense for Katie Jane Hughes to have released this because it's with her style, it's like her aesthetic, and it makes sense, but it's super expensive. I feel like this product just feels like a sticky clear gloss. I was hoping it wasn't going to be sticky, to be honest. It's just super, super tacky when you put it on the skin. And even now I've had it on for 35 minutes, 40 minutes, and it's still tacky. And then I mentioned in my review video that my packaging is kind of cracked on the bottom. I decided not to email them about it because I was able to kind of file it down a little bit so it's not so sharp like it's gonna cut my finger or anything. It's just a tiny little notch in the packaging that's cracked. But I just decided not to, I didn't feel like it. But yeah, honestly, I'm a little bit let down, and by a little, I mean a lot. Like, I'm pretty let down. It's super expensive and I still just feel kind of meh about it. And I wish I had not spent my $75 on this. So I hope that if you guys were thinking about buying it, then I can help you save $75, because I would just say save your money and buy something else. The lippies from Revie Beauty are very beautiful. I do not regret buying those, but I purchased those in October, so we're not talking about those in this spending video. But yeah, I wish I hadn't spent my $75 on that. So that being said, the total of everything I just mentioned that I really wish I hadn't bought is $118.89. So that's a lot, like almost $120. That's a bummer. I'm not gonna sit on that for too long because that will frustrate me. But my quarter 3 spending, had I not bought any of those things I regretted, as a reminder, it was $311, and it would have only been $192.54 if I had not bought those things, which, like, hindsight's 2020. That's not something I want to dwell on. I just kind of wanted to mention that because it's a good reminder for myself and maybe for you guys about impulse buying. Some of those were impulse buys. Some of those were things I thought like, oh, that'd be fun to try, but I don't really like need it. And then others, it's kind of the hindsight thing. Whereas like the lip product that broke my lips out, or the KJH product that I ended up not liking, I really thought I would have liked that more. So I couldn't have known that, and I'm not gonna dwell on that for too long or make myself feel bad about it. It's really just like the gimmicky blush that maybe I shouldn't have spent my $7 on, or the $3 lip liner, or the $5 mascara when I already had some mascaras on backup. It's that kind of thing where I'm like, yeah, I probably should have just like not spent that money. And even those few things could have saved me like $50. So that's something I want to think about in the next quarter, especially coming around Black Friday, not just to buy stuff on the Black Friday sale, but sometimes it's fun to just try new things out. So all things considered, I'm really not that upset about it, and it'll all work out regardless. So I'm still, you know, kind of on track to stay in the budget, kind of the loose budget that I've had. I don't really feel the need to set like a hard budget for myself for makeup because it tends to be about the same every year, but you know, I'm okay with that. It's what works for me. But I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, just seeing like what I spent on makeup in quarter 3. I would really appreciate it if you guys would give it a thumbs up. That will help out my channel a lot. And if you guys want to subscribe to my channel, I would also really love that. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.